Hello everyone, this is Old School from WhatTheBuck.net, coming back from a little bit of a hiatus over the holiday season. Sorry for the lack of videos. Last video was the preview for the Seattle Seahawks game. We managed to go out to the West Coast and do what we normally can't do, which is get a victory on the West Coast against the Seahawks. We talked about the things that were necessary to get that done, and the team stepped up and got it done on the West Coast. The local guys here at 10:10 a.m. lost some money on that game, which made me quite happy. I know a lot of people out there want the Bucs to lay down and lose these games in an attempt to get Ndamukong Suh. We seem to have pissed that down our leg, which is fine by me. I think you play to win the games, and we did take another step in that direction this week against the New Orleans Saints. I don't think anyone in the entire universe gave us credit or for a chance to win this game. We knew what we would have to do. The Dallas Cowboys provided quite a blueprint for it. Nothing unique or surprising about it. The way to beat a team that is as stout as New Orleans is offensively is to keep that team off the field. So time of possession becomes a huge statistic. It's always a huge statistic, but against a team like Seattle, or against a team like New Orleans, rather, it's even more critical. So we came out this week against the Saints. Geno Hayes was late yet again. This is a pattern that needs to be fixed. He's a hell of a ball player. I think he ended up with 10 tackles and a number of other stats, a forced fumble, etc. But he has got to be there on time and be there for every snap, because I don't want to see Matt McCoy in the lineup, right? And again, not a personal affront to Matt, maybe a great guy, but we take a bunch of steps backwards with Geno off the field. But first half, ugliness. We can't get anything done. Everything looks miserable, and we're down 17-3 with a mercy field goal at the end of the half. Now, just like the Seahawks game, where the coaching staff did something that they had not done all year long, which was they went in at half, came back out, had made adjustments, and changed the tenor of the game. That happened again this week. I'm not sure which coach did it, how it got done, but this was a tale of two halves. New Orleans came out after the half. The Bucs got a chance to put some points on the board. We got down the field, got a Cadillac Williams run off left side of the line, takes it in for the score. All of a sudden it's 17-10. A little bit later, punt. Michael Spurlock, for those of you Bucs fans, remember Michael Spurlock was the first Buccaneer to return a kickoff for a touchdown in a regular season game against Atlanta. We subsequently released Michael Spurlock. We signed him this week after dropping Yamon figures because the coaching staff felt like there were more yards on the field that Yamon wasn't able to get. Spurlock comes back and returns his punt for 77 yards, and all of a sudden we get a ball game. Defense holds up. Sabby Piscatelli on that last drive goes high trying to get to the ball. Unnecessary. Even the announcing crew realized that. Lets the Saints get a chance at a pretty easy shot of a field goal for Garrett Hartley. I think it was a 37-yard field goal. He manages to shank it left. Benson, the owner of the Saints, thought it was good. There's some great video clips of him celebrating and then realizing it was no good. What was the most impressive part of this game, in my opinion, though, other than the running performance in general by Cadillac Williams, who ran for 126 yards, his first 100-yard game, I think, since 06, the Bucs' first in probably 20 games. I can't remember who the last one was to get it. Should have looked that up before I did the video. On the last drive, we drove the ball. We won the toss in overtime, drove the ball down the field with 10 runs, and got Connor Barth a shot at a field goal. He nails, I think it was a 47-yard kick for the win to drop the Saints to 13-2 and get a win for a Bucs team who, to be quite honest, needed a win to maintain any sense of progress. And I think after that first half, they had to show that they could rebound. Now, whether you think this is something that's going to save Coach Morse's job or not, I don't know. I happen to think the guy's here next year. I know there are a lot of rumors right now. Jason LaCanfora from NFL.com is saying that the Glazers are talking to Bill Cowher. I think it's unlikely that Cowher would come here. It would be a very big change for Bucs fans. I don't think Cowher comes here unless Raheem Morris or anyone run a 4-3. I think you're looking at a 3-4, and we do not have personnel that fits that defensive scheme. Not the end of the world. Stranger things have happened, but I think that the progress that we have seen is significant enough, with the exception of the New York Giants game early in the season, and the offensive performance alone, not the defensive performance, the offensive performance against the Jets. I think the defense has shown significant improvement. We have got a shit pile of draft picks, 10 in the upcoming draft, to rebuild. I think you got to make some key adjustments and changes in the offseason. I still can't stand Greg Olsen, though I think he has even gotten better. He made a number of boneheaded mistakes yesterday. He still doesn't seem to know how to call an offensive play for third and short, as we once again forget you can do a QB sneak. But when you look at the numbers, at the end of the day, the stats look pretty solid. We outgained the Saints in first downs 24-23, better on third down 58%. 439 yards to 373. No one would have ever thought that the Bucs would outgain the New Orleans Saints offense. Nobody. And that includes the average per play at 6.5 to 6.1. We had 176 yards on the ground to 124. The stats are pretty impressive. especially for a Bucs offense that did have a couple of mistakes. Young quarterback, Josh Freeman, still having some issues with regards to his accuracy, and that's not just talking about the interceptions. He's had some guys that are open, like Winslow on a particular route coming across the middle, wide open in front of the linebacker. He's just got to lay that ball out in front of him, let him make the catch in space, and he's going to turn that upfield for another 10 or 15 yards, assuming the guy who gets there first is going to make the tackle. But he goes behind him. It's an incomplete pass. The first interception, it was a square in to Antonio Bryant. Antonio Bryant gave up on the route. That's not on Josh Freeman. That's on Antonio Bryant. And I like that Freeman got in Bryant's face. Bryant better watch his ass, or he's going to be looking for another job next year. Now, our receiving core is not very good. We need to upgrade at every single position. And Bryant may be one of those positions if he can't perform consistently. No one can doubt what the guy can do when he wants to be on, but he's chosen when to be on and when not to be, and that's unacceptable, right? You've got to be out there at every snap, going at 100%. The second interception was, again, targeting Antonio Bryant, sort of a fade route to the corner. He had him open for about 17 yards. I mean, we're down in the red zone, and he's got him open, but he wants to go to that corner. You got to make that throw to the back pylon. Josh short arms it a little bit. Tracy Porter gets over there and makes the pick. But again, at that point as a receiver, you've got to turn into a defensive back. Bryant's a big guy. I think he could have helped his quarterback out there a little bit. Was it a bad throw? Yes. Does it go on Josh? Absolutely. Could it have ended differently? Yeah, absolutely. Greg Olsen, you've got a guy in Maurice Stovall's got a better height advantage. You've got Jeremy Stevens, who's I think 6'7". Right, you got guys you can throw these fade routes to. You can use that height. Right, we see Flacco using Heap, who's 6'5", to do the same thing. It's used across the league, and we seem to forget that if you line a 6'6" guy or a 6'7" guy up against a 6'1" corner, we win that battle. Right? You're either going to get the completion, your guy's going to suck and drop it, or you're going to get a PI, and then you're first and goal. Right? This goes back to my bitching about Greg Olsen. Anyway. Great victory, 2017 in overtime. We're going to be talking about tonight whatthebuck.net, 7 o'clock. If you guys want to come over to the website and check it out, we have a live chat room, etc. Great to see the Bucs get the victory. We did have 2 injuries. Jimmy Wilkerson out with the torn ACL on IR. Ernest Graham with his annual foot injury. This is a ligament in his toe out to IR, which leaves us thin at the defensive end position. It leaves us thin at the tailback position. Expect to see Derek Ward get some more carries to determine if he's worth that free agent contract he got last season. I'll hope to get a little bit better about getting these videos up here. Sorry about that, folks. Make sure you rate it and let people know what you think. Thanks.